Welcome to Conversations on the Couch. I'm Dr. Danielle, and today I've got a great episode for you. We're going to be talking about what mental health is and what it is not, and also how we can begin to incorporate mental health into our overall health. I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the episode along with me. Now, it's only right if we're talking about mental health that we offer a definition of what it is. Mental health is our emotional, psychological, and social well being. Included in that is our emotional functioning. How do we deal with our emotions? How do we express them? How do we acknowledge them? And how do those emotions impact the way that we show up in the world? It also includes cognitive functioning, the way that we think and perceive things, how those perceptions also impact who we are friends with, who we get into relationship with, how we show up at work. There's also this part about resilience, right? How do we cope with our day to day problems? How do we de stress? How do we figure out how to navigate the world with all of these external forces or sometimes internal forces that create this dysregulation within us? All of those things, including our behaviors and the way, again, how we show up in the world, are a part of mental health. And our job and role is to have an experience that is as whole and as healthy as possible. Not perfect, but one that's really promoting feeling good and being at peace, or at least having some measure of contentment. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that you're not going to feel stressed at all, or that you're not going to feel unhappy or discontent at certain times. But what it means is that you work to create a bit of harmony within your world where you have these fluctuations, but you're able to return to a baseline of being okay. Now, just hearing some of my clients over the years, being okay doesn't feel like that's all that there is to life or what it should be. And I think that being okay is a good place to be, but it doesn't mean that you don't experience joy. It doesn't mean that you don't experience sadness as well, right? That all of these things are still a part of the human experience. Now, I think an important distinction needs to be made here. Mental health is a part of your health. Everyone has mental health, just like everyone has physical health. Now, the quality of your mental health, now that's a different story. And a part of what we're doing here is to improve one's mental health, just like maybe going to the doctor, taking your vitamins, exercising are a part of maintaining good physical health. Because of the stigmatization of mental illness, which is more about those diagnoses that you hear about, like depression or anxiety or post traumatic stress disorder or whatever you might find in the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual that mental health clinicians use to diagnose. We've conflated that or combined that into what mental health is overall. And as a result, we don't talk about mental health because we don't want to touch it and it feels uncomfortable. So, to be clear, mental health is something that everyone has. The kind of mental health that you have, whether it's of good quality, whether it's well developed or robust in a place of peace or minimal stress, that is depending on the person, their environment, and I guess the effort that they might put into ensuring that they are doing okay. Doing well mentally isn't about whether or not you have expensive things or whether you can go to the spa every week or not. It's about the practices that you engage in that promote good mental health. What are your self care practices, right? And that can be something as simple as brushing your teeth every day, maintaining good oral hygiene, taking care of your finances. That is a part of maintaining your good mental health. Now, There are going to be times and circumstances in which your mental health is not as in a good place as it could be. And that's okay because that happens and that's a part of our life and our experiences. You're not going to be happy every day. And really, the goal is not to be happy, right? I know that that sounds counterintuitive, but the goal is to be okay. And if you are happy, then that's great. If you are sad, that's also great because you are experiencing perhaps things that are sad in your life and you are responding appropriately to them. We are not always going to be okay. We're not always going to be happy. We're not always going to be sad either, or angry, or anxious, or frustrated. Everything is on this complicated matrix, right? Where you're a little bit of this and a little bit of that at any given point. We're never always just sad. We're never always just happy, but there's always a combination of these things. So, when we're talking about your mental health, I hope that you're engaging in self compassion and coming from an understanding that things are going to change and we're going to be impacted by them, and that that's okay, and that our hope is that we are responding to them as well as we can. To say a little bit more around the thought of happiness. I've noticed that a lot of people think that you have to be positive all the time. If you are having a really bad day and you mention it, then it's just like, oh, cheer up, at least you are alive, or at least this didn't happen, or it could have been worse, right? And while I can understand that person's intent was to cheer you up and show you the brighter side of things, it really does kind of devalue the experience that you're having in the moment. It is okay to feel sad or down or any of those less than desirable emotions that we try to avoid. It's not always about being positive. It is not always about being happy. There are moments where those things can exist and should exist, and there are moments where they are not necessary. And it's okay to feel a full range of emotions, and that is a part of maintaining good mental health, allowing all of your emotions the space to exist and to live and to be acknowledged and addressed. An additional thought is that taking care of your mental health is not a weakness. We all need support at some point in our life. You do not need to be in therapy forever. You don't need to go to therapy. You can read a book, you can journal, you can color, you can speak to a friend, you can speak to a religious leader, right? All of those things are a part of expressing yourself and creating a space where you are heard, where your emotions, your thoughts, and feelings are validated and acknowledged. And that is not a weakness. I think it takes a lot of strength and bravery to say these things and express them, especially in a world that does not always smile favorably on them. Rene Descartes spoke about the mind body problem. And in it, he hypothesized that there were different ways that the body might be connected to the mind. I personally think that the relationship between the mind and the body is bidirectional, where each mind and body has an impact on the other. I want you to think about your day to day life. When you have gotten a bad grade, right? How does that impact the way that your body kind of feels, right? If you've gotten a cold, sometimes you just don't want to do anything. You feel unmotivated, and it has nothing to do with your energy level, your physical energy levels. There's so many examples of things that illustrate how the mind and body have an influence and impact on each other. And as a result, I think it's really important to take care of both of them. Now I get it. Some of us are already having trouble with taking care of our physical health, and now we're asking to take care of our mental health too. I know it can be a lot, but it doesn't have to be. I think when we talk about mental health and taking care of our mental health, that we think it has to be this grand gesture or it has to be really, really expensive to do. And that's not the case. You can journal, right? We can color. We can have conversations with friends. We can take ourselves out on a date. We can take a walk. We can exercise. All of those things that I mentioned will have an impact on the mind and the body. And this episode, I'm hoping, will encourage you to think about how important it is to take care of you as a whole person, right? Because mental health is health. It is not something to be put in a corner and to be cut and separated from our physical health and the importance of taking care of us as whole human beings. I hope you will continue to watch these episodes and that this can be a part of your mental health practice. Maybe you will learn something new. Maybe you will teach me something that I did not know about or I didn't think about. I hope that you just leave with a little bit more than you came with, and that you're feeling a little bit more encouraged to take care of yourself. And hopefully that will trickle on to other people having these conversations with you and perhaps taking care of themselves too. That's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. If there is a comment that you would like to leave, please do so. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. And as always, the things that you learn here are not meant to be a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. I hope that this is an encouragement to start your own positive, improved mental health journey. As always, I hope you are well, and I hope that you take good care. And I hope I'll see you next time on the couch.